So thank you for being here. Just a little bit of other history about myself. I left school at 16. Literally the day after I left school, walked straight to the tax office, registered my first business, which was the property cleaning business. And I had that for 15 years, and then I identified in 2010 when people started to install panels that there was going to be a demand for solar panel cleaning. So I did a lot of private research, calls on companies in America, Spain, Germany. They were further ahead with their solar journey than we were in the UK, obviously, and identified there would be a future need, even though it would be a slow burn. So 2012, we began to offer solar panel cleaning as part of that property cleaning company. Partway through 2013, we realised there'd be a demand. So 2012, we cleaned about 200 panels during the calendar year. 2013, we managed to do 53,000 solar panels in that calendar year. 2014, we did 74,000, and this year we fully expect to hit 150, maybe 170,000 panels for this year. So, Clean Solar Solutions then, we are the UK's first and leading professional solar panel cleaning company. The figure there, 130,000 solar panels cleaned over the last 18, 20 months or so. And what we're going to discuss today, I'll turn it off, what we're going to discuss today is how you can save and make money with a simple low-cost annual clean. In some cases it is necessary to have more than an annual clean. We'll go into that a little bit later on. So why your costly investment? Because it's not a cheap investment. Why it is important to protect it from many different things, and why it does need to be looked after by professionals. There's been a period of time where people have let their panels go without being cleaned, so we're going to look at the impact that will have on your system as well. So our credentials, we've got exclusivity partnerships in place with some companies that you may or may not recognise. British Gas are one of our biggest clients. We clean solar panels at the Toyota plant in Derby, which is 16,800 panels there. We've done it 3 times to date. We're going back next week to start cleaning that plant again. So we'll clean over 70,000 panels this year for British Gas. And Esco, been named in one of the top lists of clean tech companies in the world, in the top 100. They didn't exist 4 years ago, but now they turn over £100 million a year, so an impressive business they've got going there. They use us exclusively for their solar panel cleaning. SolarSense, they're another award-winning company based out in Bath. They've done some installs for the Duchy of Cornwall, which we've been able to clean for them. And also Spirit Solar. They won the Public Space Installation Award at the Solar Power Board Awards in 2014, so another award-winning company that we carry out solar panel cleaning for. We mention these things because hopefully it adds credence that solar panel cleaning is a very important part of maintaining your system. We'll discuss why there's been a discussion about that in a moment, but also by having names such as this under our portfolio, it shows that our company reputation serves us well, that we can get contracts with people like British Gas. It's not an easy thing to do. So I suppose the first question that many people have then is, why do we need to clean solar panels? Because in the early days of solar panels being installed, virtually every installer that would have come and sold you solar panels said that they were self-cleaning, that they were coated with something and they were maintenance-free. The rainwater alone would clean the solar panels for you. Well, at best, this was probably a bit of ignorance or misinformation. And from our point of view, at worst, it's a missell. And it's been proven to be a bit of a missell over time as well. We've been able to prove that the truth is that solar panels are not self-cleaning. Personally, it's about what I've had with the industry for the last 4 years or so. I've walked around shows like this, trying to explain to people why there is a need for solar panel cleaning. And with 15 years of previous cleaning experience, external cleaning experience, I just knew that these panels would need cleaning. So I published an illustration on our website, which has been repeated many times over, about a car windscreen. If you were to park your vehicle on the driveway or in your farmyard for a year and leave it, the glass is mounted at a similar angle to the solar panels. If you left it for a year and you come to drive that vehicle, you'd hardly be able to see out the screen, it'd be the brightness. And you wouldn't be able to see because the light is not making it into the vehicle through the glass. The solar panels are exactly the same. The solar cells within the panel, in effect, need to see as much sunlight as they can. So the more sunlight into the cells, the more energy and more money in turn for yourselves. So it was very straightforward from my point of view that there would be a demand. And from your point of view as perhaps farm owners and landowners, maybe you're not in this for the green energy angle. Maybe you're in it because you want to reduce your costs, your energy costs for running your farm. So you've installed panels on your roof. Maybe you want to fill your fields with them because you want to have this as a revenue generating scheme for yourselves. And so it is important that your investment is kept clean to produce the maximum amount of energy or the maximum amount of money for you as well. So I think the principle really behind the idea of self-cleaning panels was that they are smooth to touch, a lot of these solar panels. But when you get the glass under the microscope, it's very easy to see it is pitted, and it's a very rough surface glass. And because airborne pollutants are very small waste that we can see, they travel in a microscopic way and they settle microscopically into the pits of the glass. And then when they fill with the pits, they form what we see with our eyes as a film of dirt. And by the time you see a film of dirt resting on the glass, your panels have already started to reduce in their output. So less output, there's less power, there's less money for yourselves, so it's important that you keep them clean. Another thing that we've seen as we've gone around the country cleaning panels is that from a distance, when you look up on the roof, you might be stood on ground level, and it looks uniform. And because it looks uniform, you think that they look clean. But if any of you have got solar panels, if we were to come out and clean perhaps 4 or 5 random panels on your roof, it would drive you insane looking at that roof then, because you'd see the 4 or 5 that we've cleaned, and it doesn't look uniform to the eye anymore. So even though your panels may look clean from ground level, if they've been installed for 6 months on a shallow roof or 12 months on a steep pitch roof, if we were to come and clean, you would see a difference between the clean panels and the dirty panels. So the industry is changing really. There is a shift away from this idea of self-cleaning panels and rainwater alone cleaning panels. In 2011 it was boom time for installers. They were so busy installing, they gave little or no thought to long-term maintenance. They were making their money concentrated solely on installing solar panels. They didn't think it was important enough to merit their attention when it came to cleaning. But as I said, I noticed this developing market and thought, well, it's going to be a slow burn, but there's going to be a definite need for it. So let's say, for instance, in 2012, you had your solar panels installed on your house. Let's say, as an example, they were brand new, producing well, made £1,000 during that year, 2012. 2013 comes along, you make about £950 during the calendar year. £50 difference, you probably put that down to the light levels and think, well, we've not had such a good year. 2014 comes along and you produce £900 as an example, and you think, well, something's up. So you ring the installer, and this is what's happened all over the country. People are ringing their installers, I've got a problem with my panels. The installer will come out, check the inverter, check the wiring, go up on the roof to check the panels, and they were all checked out fine, electrically, but they were dirty. And that's where we've seen over the last 18 months, especially a massive increase in the demand for our services. So over the last 18 months within the industry, a lot of installers have come to us asking to partner with us because they do now want to roll out what's called an operations and maintenance contract, an O&M contract for their customers. They do it on new installs and they go back through their database of their old clients to say we're now offering a cleaning, servicing and maintenance contract. So things are changing within the industry. And a lot of it is down to companies like Rexel, not exhibiting here today, but they do a lot of the larger shows and the Solar Power Portal as well. And Jerry Hamilton, you can see there, he's the Northern European Business Development Director for Rexel. He freely admits that until recently he was a sceptic when it came to solar panel cleaning. He was of the opinion that the panels would clean themselves, but they weren't coated with something that would self-clean. But Jerry now recognises the industry is way behind recognising the fact that these panels do need cleaning. And he wrote an article which was published on the Solar Power Portal, which is a very well-known website among the industry. And and it was called Where There's Mud, There's Less Grass, because it's shocking to see some of the losses that people were having as a result of just having dirty solar panels. So people do listen to what Jerry has to say, and other key figures within the industry. And people like Jerry are changing the minds of the industry as a whole, and I'm trying my very best to do that as well. So we could talk about commercial rooftop and residential, really focusing on the rural aspect of things. Why do rural arrays need more cleaning? Well, the truth is, they need more cleaning because there's more pollutants on a farm than there are in built-up urban areas. You've got like farm machinery which chuck out a load of diesel smoke and things like that. When you move grain out of grain stores, that kicks up clouds of dust. You've got the sawdust from poultry sheds, you've got the dust which dairy sheds, the cows kick up. And all these things get put into the air. When it rains, they settle down on the panels, and it can create some really big dust problems. You've also got from harvest pollen and just general ground dust which is thrown up into the air, and that can travel some distances into some heights, and that too can settle on the solar panels. So all of these things as dust settle, and you might have it during the night, that turns it into like a paste. Sun comes out the next day and it bakes that paste onto the solar panels, and the air temperature doesn't need to be overly hot for the solar panels themselves. They get quite hot, so it can be quite difficult to remove this detritus that's built up as well. So when we think about getting money back from your investments, let's say your installer told you it's going to take you 10 years to get your money back. We know it's less than that now, but let's say 10 years to get your money back. If you're losing just 10% of your output, it's going to take you a whole extra year to get your money back. If you're losing between 20 and 25%, which is what we generally see on rural arrays, the first time we go clean, might have been in there 2 or 3 years, we go clean, you see an increase of 20-25% in output. If you weren't to do that, it's going to take an extra 2.5 years to get your money back on your investment. And the highest increase that we've seen on a farm is 43%. They were losing 43% of their output just as a direct result of having dust and a build-up of dust on their panels. So this farmer would have taken him about 4 years, 4.5 years to get his money back extra. So all of a sudden it doesn't look as good an investment when you're talking about an extra 4 years on top. So it is important to get these panels cleaned. When we first started cleaning panels, they were mainly on houses. Then British Gas Solar came along and we did this Toyota plant. And again, a relatively built-up area, so that's what we were used to. And the first time we got asked to do a poultry shed about 20 miles away from here, we priced it up over the phone, thought it was going to be easy, went down there. It took us days longer to clean than we thought because of this build-up of dirt that we'd not experienced before. And the farmer had poultry sheds that had extractor fans, and they were blowing the dust directly straight out onto his ground mounted panels. So he had a bit of an issue there. He's become a regular client of ours now. We're there 3 or 4 times a year, cleaning his panels during the summer months. After that, we cleaned a few more poultry sheds, learned some stuff. Then solar centres, as I mentioned earlier, they came to us. We've got this dairy shed down in Bath. Yeah, fine, we've done a poultry shed, it's going to be the same. No, that was a mistake. That took us an extra day for 3 men to do as well, just cleaning the panels on a dairy shed. And that's because it's a different type of muck that we've not encountered before. So now, which was mentioned, we've cleaned 130,000 panels on roof mounts, ground mounts, dairy sheds, poultry sheds, coastal arrays, which is a different type of build-up again. We're not surprised by anything that we will go out to clean now. We know exactly what to expect. And because we know exactly what to expect, we know how to charge, we know how to do it safely, we know exactly the sort of increase that we can give you based on how long the panels have been in, based on the angle and the aspect as well. So we've got a very good idea, and we can give you that information before the cleaning. So another key question which we get asked an awful lot: how much does solar panel cleaning cost, and is it worth me spending my money? That's probably a good question, isn't it? Well, while I was putting this presentation together, I looked around on the internet to see if there were find this quite fascinating. One company said that investing £30 in cleaning their residential system, so a residential 16-panel system, could bring up to £1,500 extra revenue. I find that quite interesting because a residential system only generates about £1,800 a year. So they're telling you you're going to get a year and a half's worth of extra electricity as a result of having the panels clean. Well, that's true. Another company offers a panel cleaning of a 16-panel system for £125 plus that. Well, that's getting on for like £10 a panel nearly. That's a lot of money for one panel, £10. The same company's price guide quotes a 50 kilowatt system, roof mounted, £525 plus that. Is that a bargain? Who knows? Do we know? £525 plus that? Well, it's relative, isn't it? Because there's no point in you spending £500 with them, having the panels cleaned, if they're only going to give you an extra £400 in generation. You're better off having dirty solar panels and keeping your money in your pocket. So when we sat down years ago and did our price structure, first of all, it needs to be profitable for us as a company, because there's no point in us doing it. But we realised as well that the numbers have got to be strict, it's got to be beneficial for you as a client. So that if you do spend £100 having your panels cleaned with us, you're going to get £120, £130 upwards in extra generation. So we've worked out a price model around that as well. So make sure that the finances stack up. If you are going to get your panels cleaned, don't just pay any figure thinking that's the going rate, because it varies massively in the country, because a lot of people are just guessing their way around at the moment. So take that side out of it, the cost side of things. What we need to do really is think about other things as well, other types of cost away from finance. It is possible to damage solar panels while you're cleaning them. It is possible to damage solar panels while you're maintaining them. So you need to make sure that whoever you get into cleaning panels has the health and safety knowledge that they need, they've got the right specialist equipment that they need to clean the panels, and you need to be asking really about their insurance, because if they are to damage your solar panels, then you need to claim off their public liability insurance. You can't do that if they're not insured. And then your investment is wasted, it's broken, and you've got to foot the bill for that then. So that's an important part of it as well. It seems at the moment every window cleaner up and down the country thinks, well, I can reach those solar panels on the house roof, so I'll just charge them to clean them. I was approached by the Federation of Window Cleaners, which is a trade body for the UK for window cleaners. Is solar panel cleaning the same as window cleaning? I wrote a double-page article for their trade magazine explaining the difference between window cleaning and solar panel cleaning, and the risks are far removed. There's no electricity running through windows, that's one thing. You're spraying water onto an electrified panel that you can't really see very well from ground level, so you don't know if that panel broke, if it's got a crack in it, a stone chip. And if you are to spray water directly into a panel, you're going to get a shock. It's a DC shock, it's damaging. It's travelling down a carbon pole which is holding, which is still on the floor as well. It's a recipe for disaster, and so I imagine that unless some sort of regulation comes into place, there will be an accident in the future, in the next few years, where somebody does get electrocuted from cleaning solar panels. So you need to make sure of that side of things as well, and we're setting up the first training course in the UK for training people who want to clean solar panels, because we've done a lot of research into that side of it to make sure our guys are safe. Another thing as well is chemicals. You're not supposed to use chemicals to clean solar panels, not even fairy liquid or anything like that. The warranty of the manufacturers will be invalidated if you do that. So again, you need to make sure that they're being cleaned with the right sort of food. You don't want your panels to fail, send them away, and they test it and say, well, no wonder they've failed, it's because you've used the level of detergents on them. So we need to make sure it's being done correctly. It's not as straightforward as people think. So in conclusion then, some of the main things to take away, I suppose, the myth, and it is a myth about self-cleaning panels, is out there still. I've met installers in the other room over the way there, and they're selling self-cleaning solar panels, so they say. But they're just not out there. People are developing chemicals that they want to coat panels with. We've had them sent to us to fit retrospectively, and there's hundreds of thousands of pounds and dollars being spent developing that sort of product, but it isn't out there yet. It will be, I dare say, in the next few years, but it's not out there yet. The attitude in the industry has changed away from a self-cleaning business into, no, you definitely do need your panels cleaning. Why do you need them doing in a rural area? Well, again, we discussed the dust, farm emissions, many different factors come together to create those on solar panels. When you do decide to get your panels cleaned, make sure that you're using a professional, not just somebody you can reach, or not just a farm hand who's firing onto the roof with a bucket and a brewer and say, go and clean those for me. It's quite dangerous. It needs to be done properly. And then also make sure that the sun's up. Make sure you're not blowing your money unnecessarily on excessive solar panel cleans. Or if you decide to go for 1 year, that you're not paying over the odds for that 1 year. So make sure that the numbers stack up for you as well. So thank you very much for listening. If you've got any questions, or I'll be happy to answer them for you. Or if you think of any at the end, then we can do it there as well.
That's made me want to go get my panels professionally. They're not working now, they're just about to connect to my house in Devon. I think it's absolutely an important aspect for an industry that is moving into being much more mature and professional, that all of these aspects are considered within the operations and maintenance. So thank you for that, Steve. Are there any questions for him specifically? Because I have one, but I'll have him fire in case somebody else wants to ask it. Do we have a microphone here? She's running it.
Steve, the obvious question is, are you just using water to clean the panels, or are there chemicals that are allowed to be used on certain panels?
So, we do use water. It's mains water that goes through quite a complicated filtration process, 6 different stages. Cut a long story short, we're changing the chemical makeup of the water. So we're purifying it so that it becomes water pure. We're changing the chemical makeup of the water as well. So